I had a conversation with a friend of mine not too long ago. He stopped by my room and he told me, "Hey man, I know all the right things to do. I know, but I can't seem to bring myself to do them." And I asked him, "What do you mean?" He said he knows he's supposed to go to the gym after work. He knows that he's supposed to journal. He knows he's supposed to do all these things to improve himself as a person, but he doesn't do it. And I told him, "What do you think the root of the problem is?" He didn't know. I told him, "The root of the problem is yourself. It's your mindset. It's how you've been training yourself for all this time throughout the years. It's all the times you chose to be comfortable instead of putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation." He said, "Give me an example." I said, "All the times you chose to go out, all the times you chose to do other things other than improving yourself as a person, like going to the gym, for example, or learning a new skill. All the times you chose comfort instead of discomfort, built up to a habit in which you are uncomfortable being uncomfortable. When you're born into sin, right? You know what's right and what's wrong morally. Yet you still choose to do what's wrong because it's in you. You've built up that habit within you for a very long time. The same thing can be applied with everything in life. The way you've been thinking, the way you've been acting for several years have built you up and manifested its way into who you are right now. It's no one's fault but you. And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, but it's the truth." After explaining that to him, I told him, "No one is going to get you out of bed but you. No one's going to want it as bad as you want it." I told him he needs to search within and needs to find a reason to get out of bed. I gave him an example. I told him at 28 years old, I plan on being the best physique of my life possible, not just physically, but mentally. I told him I'm currently 20, right? By me choosing to skip the gym, even for a day, is building up the habit of me not being consistent. But if I were to go every day, even when I don't feel like it, I'm building up the habit of discipline. The discipline that's going to be required in the far future. When working to purchase your first car, when working to purchase your first house, when working to accomplish a goal of yours, a job that you set forth to desire. I told him, "How can I expect you to, for example, run a business when you can't even make your own bed?" I said the small things matter. There's a quote, "It's hard to get out of bed when you're sleeping in silk pajamas." Whether you're in a bad situation in life, whether you're in a decent situation in life, whether you're just thriving in life, there is no reason why you shouldn't strive for better. My friend told me, "Well, I like to enjoy myself. I like to watch a show here and there. I like to lay back and eat whatever I want." I told him, "That's cool. I like to do the same thing. But I also know my worth ethic. I know that if I eat shitty, I'm going to put the work in the next day to either burn it or be at the same place I was before I ate it. But I will never be the type of person just to sit back and drink myself on the weekends and just not progress myself in life. Because then I feel like I'm just burning away my prime years, my prime time. This is the time to make mistakes. This is the time to fuck up, and this is the time to learn, and this is the time to be better. These years are shaping you to be the man that you're supposed to become and the man that you're always meant to be. The last thing I want to do is build drinking habits, build up clubbing habits to the point where I'm 28 years old. The only thing I have going on for myself is something mediocre, and the only thing that brings excitement to my life are those habits. At least me personally, that's not where I want to be in life. But everyone is different. I want to buy a house one day. I want to have my dream car, build a stable family, bring my family to financial freedom. But I can't do any of that if I don't have my shit together. If I can't do something as simple as getting out of bed to do something I don't want to do, that's going to better myself as a person. If I can't open that book that's going to help me learn things. Little defeats like that build up to how you see yourself and how you respect yourself. At the end of the day, you know your skill sets and you know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, and all of that will make you doubt yourself and anything that it is so you want to accomplish. But if you build good habits and you build up the wins and you let the small things matter, what that does is it builds your inner confidence and it makes you realize that anything that you set forth to desire can come into fruition. Ultimately, it is up to you. It's the life you want to live. It's the life you want to reflect back on. I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm not saying you can't do this, but you must have a balance. You must have a routine. You must be so built in with discipline that when you can fuck around, you can grind double as harder the next day. I'll give you another example. Floyd Money Mayweather, 50 and 0, one of the greatest boxers to ever live. He openly stated that he only ate pizza and drank Coca-Cola before he trained. He would go clubbing, he would go to the strip clubs, he would go gambling, but he knew himself so well. He knew his worth ethic that no one can outwork him, even when he does enjoy himself. That's how you should be. Don't depress yourself from having fun and experiencing things in life. But you must remember the mission and you must get back to it almost immediately. In my previous videos, I talk about self reflection a lot. I talk about being honest with yourself because the moment you do that is the moment you have the blueprint to what's the problem, how you are as a person, why you go left when you know you should have went right. And you overall get a grounded perspective on who you are. At the end of the day, this is your life. At the end of the day, this is the body that you were born with. This is the life you were born with. This is the circumstances you were born with. Don't you feel like you owe it to yourself, or at least your family or your loved ones, the best version of yourself possible? Do you want to reflect back and realize that you did absolutely nothing with your life, and by the time you're at a certain age, you are all out of time? I most certainly don't. And I was fortunate enough to be 17 years old to realize this mindset. It's not supposed to be easy. You're going to always have that mindset in which you want to choose comfort. But again, you must search deep within to get out of bed and progress yourself as a person. There's absolutely nothing better you have to do than that. You always have to make time because the world is going to continue to progress. And it's either going to bring you with it or you're just going to stay in the exact same position that you were before. Strive for greatness, strive for better. The world is limitless if you believe it to be. Change your mind, change your frequency. If you're interested in learning about that, then be sure to check out my previous videos where I talk about those topics. And with that being said, it's been a pleasure.